Hi, I'm Life Coach Landry, and this is the 5-step plan to get your ex back. This applies to both men and women, and these are psychologically studied things that are proven ways and methods to reattract the person that you might still be in love with. Now, what I want you to know is this isn't really that hard, but one thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to make sure that you watch this video 5 to 10 times to absorb all this information, because you're going to get a lot of it. Okay? So step 1 is stop screwing up with your chances of neediness, insecurity, instincts, desperation type moves. That's your first thing to do. Okay? A lot of times what happens is women or men will get an insecurity about a person. So the male orbiters or the women orbiters that they had in their life, they'll run to one of them to save themselves real quick, to make them feel good about a relationship again, and then only to come to realize that they actually miss the person that they left in order to go gain that security from somebody else. It takes a little while sometimes, and that's why you've got to be patient. Okay, I call this the instinct section. Okay, your first thing is all your bad instincts start popping up. Deadly mistake number 1, calling and texting them all the time. Listen to me. Don't fucking do it. Okay? You're going to want to. You're going to remind them of how much you love them. Don't do it. Okay? That's the first one. Because what you're thinking is going to happen is, I miss you. I love you. I miss you. Please, please, what can I do? And what you're going to realize is all you're doing is pushing them away. Okay? Because more likely, you think you're going to message them and they're going to go, oh, hey, I miss you too. They're not. They're going to go, you're going to send a bunch of stuff, then you're going to get mad because they didn't reply, then you're going to get frustrated, and then you're going to get pissed off. All you do is push people away when you put them into a corner to have to decide on something they don't want to decide on. So don't put people in that position, okay? Number 2 would be begging and trying to use pity. Typically, men who cheat are guilty of this. Men who cheat will throw themselves at somebody. They'll do the whole, my life is dark without you, I can't go on, I'm in a dark place, I feel suicidal. All the kind of guilt strings get pulled. These are typical narcissist and cheating like statements. Don't be one of those men that sends that, because what you're going to do is she's going to scratch her head and go, I wonder if other men have done this to me. And you'll notice that other men haven't, and you'll look like the freak of the week to her when other men are doting on her and trying to take her out and show a good time. If you're a woman, what you'll know is when you do this to a man is that he'll feel smothered, because men don't want to be tackled by tons of emotional stuff at one time. Okay? Not alpha men, at least. Okay, deadly mistake number 3, I would say, is letting them walk all over you. So let's say they're upset with you about something that happened, definitely don't become a fucking doormat and let them just stomp all over you all night. Okay? You don't want that to happen. Mistake number 5 would be freaking out when your ex starts dating. This is normal, okay? I want you to hear that one more time. This is normal, okay? They're going to either go back to an ex or they're going to try someone new. And you're going to sit there and you're going to be like, man, I can't believe this is going on. You're going to just put your hands in your face and you're going to be so fucking frustrated and upset. But what you don't realize is psychologically, there's no way they're going to be able to actually get completely in depth with that person. They're going to try. It might go a month or 2. But eventually, whatever problems that couple has, that's going to come out. Guaranteed it. Okay? Psychology, remember. Okay? Deadly mistake number 6 would be name calling and anger. Do not do any of these things. No name calling, no anger. Okay? Mistake number 7 would be becoming obsessive and misinterpretation. Okay? If you start saying things like, is my ex missing me? She went on a date. Does that mean it's over? She's with the ex. Does that mean she doesn't love me anymore? No, it doesn't mean any of that shit. Okay? Remember, you've got to think about it as time. There is no cap on time. Okay? People who love each other, things can come back and whatnot. The only time this gets really difficult is when you've physically been intimate with another person and they know. Okay? Women, smart women, studies show that women who are educated, once a man cheats on them, they will never, ever return to them again. So what does that tell you? That women who are intelligent and smart, once cheated on, they know that person will probably cheat again. So let's say you and a girl got in a fight and she went back and got with an ex. Well, let's say that ex and her broke up a long time ago because he cheated on her. All you have to do is sit back. He'll fuck up again. It might take 6 months to a year. He'll fuck up again. Okay? So remember that. let's see, what mistake are we at? There's a result. I always say that people kind of panic. And what you have to remember is males and females typically will have what we call orbiters in a relationship. Orbiters are their backups. Women are more guilty of this than men. And the typical women that have this are ones with daddy issues, ones who are insecure, ones that make moves out of desperation. That if this guy doesn't work out, I need to be able to run to this other one. Women like that, to me, aren't even fucking worth it. So if you're a guy watching this and you're scratching your nose like, you should probably dump her and just get rid of her, because I guarantee long term, she's only going to cause more problems than she's ever going to fix. Okay? Good women who know and love you will love you unconditionally. They're not going to make you be a doormat for them. Okay? So I want you to, here's some things that might happen that I want you to realize aren't necessarily meaning they want to get back together. If your ex calls you, you might take it as a sign as they want to get back together. If your ex tells you she has feelings for you, you might feel the urge to drive to their house and talk to them. If your ex posts a picture on social media, you might want to comment on it. If your ex found out that you liked something that they like on Instagram and they try to say, hey, we both like the same picture, and they text you, don't fall in for that shit, okay? The best way to avoid making misinterpretations is not to take any action for a while. Just cool the fuck off. And now you should be seeing a key in what I'm saying here. Patience, time. You just got to sit back and say, you know what? I just need to relax a little bit. Here's the deal. If they really love you, it's going to eventually come back to how much they love you, no matter what they do and who they get back with, okay? So what if you already made mistakes? Chances are you've already made a couple, right? It's just in the nature of human beings to try to hold on to something that's precious to them. Where it gets indifferent is when you do it for a long period of time, okay? The guy, especially men, if you become obsessive and you become just downright depressing, it's likely that smart women are going to say, you're unstable, and they don't want to ever get back with that again. And once you show that, psychology shows smart women, educated women in particular with a bachelor degree or higher, almost never take back a man who looks unstable or has cheated on them. What does that tell you? Intelligent people don't respond well to people who do things like that. Okay, so step number 2 would be stop contact with your ex, give yourself some time and space, and give your relationship exactly what came about, an actual breakup, okay? No calling, no texting, no Facebook messaging, no contact of any kind. IM, Twitter, WhatsApp, Snapchat, no accidentally bumping into them at the gym, no hanging out with common friends in hope of meeting your ex, no keeping tabs on what they're doing anymore via their friends, their Facebook, where they're checking in at. What usually happens is, in the first couple of days, you want to see if you can repair it. That's totally understandable. I always say within the 72-hour time of saying goodbye or fuck you or I love you, I can't believe you did this to me, whatever broke y'all up, you have 72 hours to repair it before you need to start doing these kind of things, okay? I've told you all the mistakes I want you to avoid, and now I'm going to tell you what to do. Why don't contact them? There's 3 reasons, okay? 3 little reasons there is. And if you pay attention to these, they'll take you a long way. Number 1, your ex needs space and time to remove all the negative associations from the breakup to start missing you again. They need to let all those fall off. Now, if this is an ex from years ago, like that you've been broken up for 2 years or a year or whatever, these probably we're talking within a year range. Exes that are way the fuck back in your life that are, let's say you lived with or you were engaged with or you were even married and got divorced with, you need to dump that. That's bad shit. Just let it go. It ended for a reason. It's history for a reason. Just get rid of it. These are for people who are within that year range, or I always say the golden area of 3 to 4 months is the golden area. Okay. People have common misconception that if you don't contact your ex, they'll forget about you. Reality is, if you give them time to miss you, they're going to fucking miss you. And the reality is, if they've loved you, they're not going to forget about you anytime soon. Reason number 2, you also need some space and time. During this time, I want you to work on yourself. Quit fucking around. If you're a man, you should have some purpose. Quit being a pussy. Get on your mission. Get back to working out. Get back to making money, business. Go on other dates and enjoy your fucking life. When someone loves you, they'll return to you, especially if they dumped you. That's a cardinal thing here. If they dumped you, you do not contact them, period. Okay? For any fucking reason whatsoever. And you might ask, well, what's dumping? Whoever shut communication down is who did the dumping. Okay? Reason 3, you must become confident before you can get them back. So how long is a no contact period? Number one question I get on my no contact video when emails come in, and that is 30 days. What? 30 days? What if like the next week they want to talk to me? You know, what do I do during this period? Your ex during no contact period, should you tell your ex you're going on, no contact? Ideally, no. But if in the first 72 hours you reach out and try to set up a date again and they don't respond well to you, or they don't respond at all to you, then you let them know you don't accept that, and that those aren't the terms of your relationship that you had before, so you don't accept these new terms that are happening. You let them know you wish them the best. Hey, and if they ever want to get in contact, reach the fuck out. But beyond that, you're moving on with your life, okay? But wouldn't it be rude if you don't contact your ex, some people think? Well, wasn't it rude that your ex broke your heart and left you begging them to take them back? And now all of a sudden you want to have sympathy for the way they do things? Besides, you're doing the no contact for your own mental peace, not just them. Okay? Should you answer your ex's call during no contact? No, don't answer their call. Don't answer their messages anymore. What if your ex moves on during the no contact? What if they meet someone else during the no contact? What if they forget about you? Good questions. And the answer to all of them is they may, but most likely they won't. The only time they have somebody else to go talk to is usually an ex. And if they're going back to an ex relationship, they're making an even bigger mistake than the breakup they probably had with you. So you shouldn't fret an ex back in their life. Exes are an ex for a reason. Okay, so you might ask, can I take the no contact and make it shorter, like a week or a few days? Sure, if you want to give them your ex just a couple of days from the avalanche of your text. But my answer is no. Okay, it takes time for people to remove negative associations. Okay, and like I said, if you were cheated on, then, or you live with somebody or something like that, that's just rose-colored glasses if you're going back to someone like that. But if you want to get back with an ex you broke up with in the past year, then you want to give them time to remove how they feel and the nastiness they think of. Okay. Now, what if your ex and you have children? Well, then you must do limited contact. That means only speak when it comes to necessities like the child's well-being or things like that. What if you and your ex live together? Well, then you need to make plans to move on as fast as possible. What if your ex thought you didn't pay enough attention to them and you weren't committed enough, and no contact make them feel like you didn't care and that you're moving on even more concerning for them? That's a huge concern for people who didn't put enough effort into making the relationship work. If you're reading anything out there like books or anything about relationships, the one thing I can tell you is you'll notice they all have a common thing in there, is that the reason it didn't work is because the ex thinks you're doing all this because you're afraid of losing them, which is no different than the way you handle things with them to begin with. The idea here is space creates and gives opportunity for people to miss you. And when they miss you, they want to talk to you. Now, if you got dumped, it doesn't matter if you miss them or not. You do not contact them, okay? And typically, if you did the dumping and that person's reached out and tried to work things out with you, and you gave them either a half-assed response or you gave them a lame response, or let's say you didn't respond to them at all, well, you fucked up. So you're going to have to work twice as hard to get them back. So what are they probably going to think if you don't contact them? Actually, it's not a good question because it doesn't fucking matter. Okay? Stop worrying about when someone dumps you. Stop worrying about whether they, how they feel. Stop worrying about that shit. Like, you need to move on with your fucking life, okay? There's a good chance your ex will start facing grief at some point at the loss of you. It doesn't even matter if they're with someone else. It doesn't matter what kind of feelings they have with someone else. The actual thought of you in the end, if they love you and their interest is high, if they're sitting there going, I love this person this much, you're going to hear back from them, okay? They might get angry. They might shut down and start ignoring you completely. They might start stalking you on social media or something. They might even decide to go no contact themselves. They might contact you casually to act like they're interested in you. In other words, they might just throw you a bone just to put a feeler out there, see if you'll talk to them. What's important is that you hold to your standards that you've set about your no contact. And, you just need to remember that no contact, the whole point of it is for you to work on yourself and for them to miss you. That's it. It's simple as that, okay? So you have to hold tight. Step number 3 is during the no contact, no matter what, strive to become the best you, okay? So be someone that your ex won't be able to resist. Work out. Get healthy. Look good. Look your best that you've ever looked. Just be that guy that's just totally fucking awesome and irresistible. And if you're a catch to begin with, you're going to be an even better catch when they pop back up. But at the same time, if you're a female, same thing. Get fit, look good, get healthy, get your hair done, get in shape so that when he sees you, he's like, oh my God, what was I thinking? This woman's gorgeous. Okay? You must get yourself back individually. In other words, positive changes in your appearance. Get a haircut. Get your teeth cleaned. Get in the best shape of your fucking life. Like I said, get new clothes. Positive changes in your mentality. Give yourself some time to grieve. Write in a journal. Go out with your friends. Do some meditation and then start finally going out on dates. Positive changes in your behavior are important. Like I said, you don't want to represent... If you're a guy, you don't want to be the typical man out there. You don't want to be that typical guy who does dumb shit. Controlling nature, extremely jealous, insecure, lack of passion, lack of self-esteem, personal hygiene, lack of motivation, lack of communication skills, lack of social skills, harassing the new boyfriend, harassing the new girlfriend, inability to trust, inability to commit because you cheated on him once. These are all things you want to make sure. So when you sit back and you put your hands down, you put your head down, you really just kind of gather yourself, you're going to come to the realization of analyzing your relationship. I love my ex should be kind of the only thing you think about when it comes to your ultimate thought about them during the end of the 30 days. Okay? So, you need to analyze what went wrong. Make a pros and cons list. Good looking, smart, beautiful, intelligent, funny. Cons? Only you can decide what those cons are. To every person, they're different. Okay? Analyze the pros and cons. Analyze the pros and cons of your ex. Analyze the pros and cons of yourself. Remember, your ex will not be happy only if you're making yourself happy. That's why I always say men who come running after women and they're like, I'm in a dark place and I don't feel good and life sucks and whatnot. All they're trying to do is get you to make them happy again. It's not them making you happy. So when they see you, the reason the first 6 months is like golden is because they're going overboard. That eventually dies down. Old things start to surface. This is why if you have a girl that ran back to her ex, let her. He'll fuck up, guaranteed. And let's say he fucks up, but she stays with him. Her fucking loss, okay? Do you really think you can have a happy and long-lasting relationship with your ex? Like I said, if it's within a year of the breakup, absolutely, okay? Figure out what was broken and how to fix it. But in most cases, the reason for the breakup can be boiled down to one of the following things. Trust, connection, attraction. For example, you fought too much, you were controlling and insecure, your ex didn't want to commit, you cheated, or your ex cheated. Your relationship was stressful. Your relationship got, just fucking monotonous. You lost attraction, sexual connection. You didn't spend enough quality time together. It led to loss of attraction. Your relationship ended because the trust was broken. He didn't feel strong enough connection with you. Other women made him feel better about himself, and you weren't doing your part. Okay. Other men made her feel attractive and you didn't. Okay. Step number 4. Okay. So remember, this is 5 steps. We're on step number 4 here. Contact your ex at the right time with the right message to reset your image and make them attracted to you again. Remember, when your ex left you, the thought of you being needy and clingy and desperate, no fucking respect in that. Okay. Beta males do that shit. Narcissists do that shit. Weak men do that shit. Alphas don't fucking chase. Okay, men? That's for you. If you're an alpha man and she dumped you, her fucking loss. You're a catch. You got yourself together. Message her. If you make contact and something happens, don't have that weak little voice where you're starting to crack. Be a fucking man about it, okay? You're version 2.0 in this relationship. For that to happen, you need 2 things. You should actually bring positive change in your life and become confident, happy, and an attractive person. Number 2 is you should contact your ex and meet them somewhere. Okay? So when's the right time, to contact the ex? Probably the biggest question. The right time to contact your ex is when you're fucking ready after the 30 days. It's that simple. And if you're a woman and you broke up with a guy, after 30 days, contact him to meet somewhere. Now, if you're a woman or a man, what you have to make sure when you do this, you have to be ready to show them the best you at the table, and then you have to be able to connect. Believe me, a lot of guys and chicks screw this shit up because they contact the ex before they're ready. It usually starts fine. Their ex misses them due to no contact, but they soon go back to being cold when they figure out you've been faking your shit. Okay? So before you contact your ex, here's some things I want to make sure you've done. You follow the no contact rule for at least a month. You're no longer just a mess after the breakup. You've made a few positive changes in your life. You're absolutely sure that getting back with your ex is a good decision. You've gone on at least one date with no contact. You've accepted the breakup and you're okay with the fact that you may never get them back again. Okay? You've accepted the fact that even if you don't get your ex back, you're going to be fucking fine because you're a better person now. So what's the right way to contact your ex? The best way to contact your ex is to send them a text or an email. I personally like to write a handwritten letter if they still live in the same place, so you know their address. A handwritten letter is a great way to connect with your ex. In this digital age, it says a lot about you as a person. And a woman will find it romantic and a man will find it genuine. Okay? Remember, your message has just a couple of purposes here that you need to make sure you get to them. To let your ex know that you've accepted the breakup and you think it's for the best. Or, number 2, to apologize for anything inappropriate and you want to make sure that everything from the past is forgiven and forgotten. Or, number 3, let them know something exciting is happening in your life. Don't reveal too much. Just tell them something good's happening in your life. And you'd love to talk about it with them, but not now because you both need some space and time. But you want to give them something to chew on. Okay? They'll be thinking about what's happening in your life. They'll be wondering how you're feeling, wondering what you're doing. The whole idea of no contact, if you're going to write a letter, should be those 3 things. Okay? So, but if you're going to do a text message and you're not going to write a handwritten letter, you should ideally be used after sending a handwritten letter. But let's say you don't. Let's say you don't know where they live. Let's say they moved. You know your situation, your ex better than anyone. Okay? So it's your decision whether you want to use a text message or not. The key to texting is never send them an empty message. Empty message is, hey, how are you? I miss you. Or a smiley face. I love you. Like, that shit doesn't do anything for anybody. Never, ever talk about your feelings in a needy way or anything. That's not what you're trying to convey here. Never argue or say something negative like, if you had just shown a little more effort, we could have been great together. Your child misses you. But here's a few things that you probably should do. Hey, I just watched a new season of Arrested Development. It fucking cracked me up. Oh my God, we should totally get together and try to watch this and put a smile on my face. Or, hey, I read the new, I don't know, 50 Shades of Grey book. I'm so glad you never told me the ending. This shit's crazy. Remind them of stuff. Hey, I was just thinking about the time, me and you went rock climbing. Hey, I remember the little restaurant we went to that time and we had such a great time. Remember the waitress took forever to get our meal down. We were frustrated, so we drank so much wine. We should try to do that again. Let them know you're having fun in your life. Hey, I just saw a romantic movie with a friend. The ending reminded me of you. Hey, I'm going on a trip to wherever, do you remember the name of the hotel we went to when we went to that place? But don't leave them sitting there, scratching their head going, I wonder what he or she is trying to tell me. That's not what you want to do. Okay? But do not call it a date when you finally go out. Okay? I repeat. And I know that's hard for people to go, wait, what? Why? Because they're already attracted to you at one point in time. You don't really need to say that again. What you might want to say is you want to take them out and what you want to do. Okay? So don't say something like, come on, just got me once, please. Like, don't say shit like that. You broke up. If you dump them, you broke their fucking heart. So you're going to have to do a little, like I said, some pretty strong work here. If they broke up with you, then remember, you need them to work on it. But if you did the dumping, they don't owe you anything. Okay? So this is really what it comes down to, step number 5. So if you followed all the mistakes to avoid, all the things to do for yourself, and you're left scratching your head like, well, what about number 5? What could that possibly be? It's meeting up with your ex to build attraction and a connection and trust. Okay? Keyword here. Talk about getting back together when the time is right, not as soon as you get to the fucking table with them. Okay? So when you meet your ex, you're going to sit there, you're going to be skeptical, and so are they. And even though you built enough attraction and connection via phone call or text or written hand message, whatever you've done, now is when it really counts. Do your homework. Be prepared for the worst in case it happens. When you meet your ex, be prepared to lose them if this conversation doesn't go well. But still have that check mark where you make sure you're not going to be needy or desperate here anymore. Okay. So here's the number 2 for it. Be on the lookout for kind of the breakup charade. All right. You want to make sure that they're not doing anything crazy. There's a good chance your ex will say or do things that are still a little needy or desperate when they do come back to you, or you go back to them. You don't want to be needy or desperate, so make sure you don't do those things, okay? Don't talk about getting back together yet. This is number 3 out of this, okay? Number 3 out of the last step. Ideally, you want your ex to get back together, but you want it to be organic. And this is probably really important. Most people don't get the step. They broke your heart once. What'll stop them from doing it again? It's going to start coming through their head. Have they changed or become a better person? Are they going to treat you better? So if you did the dumping, you're going to have to sit there and you're going to have to remember you didn't communicate with them. You broke their heart. And now you have to help them trust you again, because they're not going to trust you the day they finally, even when they agree to meet you, they're not going to trust you. So you want to have kind of what we call a polarity of equal thoughts and conversation. You want to look sexually attractive. You want to be charming to them when you see them. And you want to go with whatever flow they want to go with. And that's what you want here, okay? But have boundaries. And, for one thing you definitely don't want to fucking do here is no friend zoning. Okay? So if your ex comes back to you and they try to friend zone you, fuck that. That's not the terms you agreed with. You only want a romantic relationship, or, you're okay with moving on. Okay? And if you did the dumping and you talk to them and like, well, we could still be friends, say, sorry, that's not what I'm interested in. Okay? You are their friend, but you're also their ex-lover or their lover. You should be casual, but you also need sexual chemistry. You should be respectful, but you should also flirt. So build up sexual chemistry, but the first time y'all see each other, you probably shouldn't sleep together. Don't let them talk you, out of other love interests. If they want your advice, that's not for you. You're there to be romantic with them and nothing else. Be ready to walk away if they don't respect your boundaries. Don't act needy. Don't act desperate. Just cut contact. There's a very good chance they're going to be respectful and they're going to apologize. But I'm going to throw a bonus in here. Okay. I've helped thousands of people online. You can just go look at the videos and look at the messaging on getting people back. But what you need to know is that out of all the videos out there and everything people do, the main problem that people do is they sit there and they go, I'm not really sure, how to get them back. And a lot of life coaches out there will say things and they'll voice things, and there'll be a lot of books out there. But what matters here is case studies, psychology of human beings is what counts when it comes to these things. These are psychologically studied ways. These aren't fucking playing around. This isn't some jackass sitting in his fucking apartment trying to give some advice to make a YouTube channel get popular. Okay? So I want to recap the steps. Step 1, you can take all these things, but what you really need to do, like I said, you need to watch this 5 to 10 times, this video. Step 1, stop screwing up your chances with neediness, insecurity, desperation, and avoid stupid ass mistakes. Step 2, stop contact with your ex. Give space, time, and give them what they ask for. They ask for a breakup, give it to them. If they dumped you, let them fucking have it. Your life has to move forward. Okay, so step 3, during no contact, strive to become a better fucking person. Okay, you're better, you deserve better. You want someone who values you, respects you, and will be loyal to you. Okay, so you want to be someone they can't resist by the time they come back. Step 4, contact your ex at the right time with the right message to reset your image with each other and make them attracted to you once again. And step 5, meeting up with your ex is to build attraction, to build a connection, to build love, to build unity again. And you need to if you're a male and you got dumped, she needs to do 80 to 90% of the communication. Sometimes I say 70, 80, but during a breakup, 80 to 90. Okay? And fuck that. If she broke up with you and broke your heart, you don't fucking take her out to a fancy restaurant or anything. You let her come over your place and earn your ass back. Okay? And if you're a woman and he dumped you, then what you need to do is exactly the same thing. Invite him out to coffee or something. Don't go to his place, and make him earn yourself back before you ever sleep with him again. Okay? Talk about getting back together when the time is right. Okay? I have over 50,000 views on my last video on this, and some people sit there and they think about it. And I've got, let's see, just looking at the counter today, I have 13,000 emails that I calculated with my analytics system that my team uses that ask about getting for an ex back. I've had 13,000 emails on getting an ex back. Watch this video 5 to 10 times. And if it's just beyond that, contact me at the link below. I'll work with you personally. I do email, phone, and video coaching. This is more likely going to be an email coaching thing if we get down to it. And if you just watch this video and this shit helps you, and you feel like, wow, man, this really stuck with me. I put it to work, and man, I'm a lot better now. Then you need to donate to me to support my work below, so that you don't have to book a session. You can just show your appreciation. So guys and girls and women and men, fiancés, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever you are, watch this 5 to 10 times. This is guaranteed to help you. 5-step plan. Life Coach Landry. Talk to you soon.